Welcome back to Blueprint Clash of Clans, everybody. This is X4, and today I have the honor of presenting you video footage detailing how to pull off every single district one-shot currently possible in the clan capital, executed by none other than WhitewolvesNL, the #1 ranked clan globally. Now, whether you sit back and enjoy these attacks or try to copy these attacks yourself, keep in mind that the deployments here and the timings are incredibly precise, as you'll see already in the Skeleton Park here. Watch the graveyards being deployed very strategically in this spot, the ram going in, being followed by the two barbarians to get the P.E.K.K.A. in just at the right time. All of these timings are very precise, and a lot of things are going on at the same time. As you can see, we're opening up the 12 o'clock side while we're taking down the rocket artillery at 6 o'clock, deploying some rams all over the place. So if you're trying to copy these attacks, keep in mind that these deployments need to be practiced. You won't get them down by just watching this attack once. So feel free to copy these plans, but don't get frustrated as they are very difficult. So try to copy these districts for yourself, for your clan, and then hit them again and again till you can perfect the timings that are required here. Now, there's a bit of downtime here, as you can see, with the P.E.K.K.A. clearing out the island section of the Skeleton Park and the minions having cleared out at 12 o'clock. Giant cannon. Now we use a giant to distract the other rocket artillery for our hogs that are coming in from the bottom here, while the P.E.K.K.A. and another piece of hogs are still going strong in this middle section outside the thorn bushes. And now we're closing in on the final section here. It's really crucial, and this is the most important thing of this entire one-shot, to keep the P.E.K.K.A. alive. The P.E.K.K.A. will clutch the entire backend for you. As you can see, the hogs and the graveyard, together with the barbarians that are working towards the 9 o'clock side, are slowly dying out. They are getting a lot of work done still, but at the end of the day, what will still be alive is your P.E.K.K.A. To finish off the space, just barely, but that will net you a nice, juicy 10,000 clan gold. Next up is the Golem Quarry, and we'll get started right away here with another, let's say, volatile one-shot. We're starting out rather simple with this Skelly Barrel takedown at 6 o'clock before then deploying all sorts of troops protected by giants and rams and some barbarians to approach this main section of the base that will then be taken out by, once again, another P.E.K.K.A. that you can see deployed here. Now, I say volatile because depending on how well the opponent's Golem Quarry is upgraded, you may need to adjust here and there. You'll see in a second this giant that precedes the P.E.K.K.A. Is only needed if the upgrades are, let's say, about 9,700 gold overall. And on the other hand, you might need 3 zaps for the defenses that were just taken down at 12 o'clock to support your barbarians, if those are overall more than 14 upgrades high. So there's a few variables here that may make this one-shot easier or more difficult for you. And this is once again a reminder that you need to practice them in FCs very carefully, very thought out. And plan carefully for the opponent's upgrades, so you don't have to waste another hit on this base. Now, as we close in on the rest of the base, you kind of see 2 fronts. You see the 3 o'clock side only being point defenses, which the Skellies can make quick work of, while at the 9 o'clock side, we've zapped down the last few air defenses and entered the dead zone of the rocket artillery under the tanking of the P.E.K.K.A. to then clear up this entire section of defenses to finish off yet another great one-shot. Up next is the Balloon Lagoon, and once again we're bringing in a broad range of troops, starting with these super wizards at 6 o'clock. That'll be the core component of our hit. We're using some rams and a graveyard spell to get them towards this bomb tower, and once the bomb tower falls, we can then protect them with skeleton barrels instead. Once again, abusing that all of these defenses towards the right don't have any splash capabilities, so these skeletons will just rule over it. Now the rage towards 9 o'clock will now be used by a super dragon to splash all these buildings down in just one breath, and then work towards the rocket artilleries sitting in the back there. So more skeleton barrels to keep the main push in the middle moving, while we then use some rams and our P.E.K.K.A., our good old friend, to work towards this 12 o'clock side starting at 3 o'clock. Now you see, once again, there's a lot of things going on simultaneously, so do practice this carefully. At the end of this hit, you may sometimes be spared with another ram that you can then use either to distract for the defenses a little longer at the start, if the defenses are high level, and take down the ram rather quickly, or you take one super barbarian instead that you can use to save your super wizards when they start hitting the wall towards the district hall. So now the P.E.K.K.A.'s dealing all this damage under the protection of the skellies that are in front of him at 12 o'clock, and the troops converge on these last few spear throwers, and even though there's a small bomb hidden behind them, it won't stop them from taking down these final few buildings and finishing off our third district. Coming fourth, we have the Builder's Workshop. Well, this infamous base you might recognize for its two starting areas that are very separate, and so we will also have two main armies, so to speak, that will take care of each of the sides. We're starting off with a bunch of rams followed by hogs that will then work towards the 3 o'clock side, towards the seal we've already placed, while we use some strategically placed barbarians under the tanking of the graveyard spell that is provided at 6 o'clock to take down this giant cannon and its defenses behind it very efficiently. In the meantime, the hogs at 3 o'clock have reached the heel and will now need less attention than the 6 o'clock side. And you can also see the graveyard at 11 o'clock taking down this isolated blast bow up there, while we then bring in some rams towards 12 o'clock to finish off this final tough section for the hogs. At 6 o'clock we use the, once again, graveyard spell, still spawning skeletons, and a super wizard to work through these crushers that are stuck there, before then deploying a ram for some more tanking and, most crucially, triggering all the traps around there before we send in some skeleton barrels, two actually, to take down this final blast bow. Now we're kind of getting low on troops, so we need the skeletons to finish off this final bulk of defenses that they just broke into, with the support of their hogs coming over the district hall, and then we have one final Inferno Dragon to take down the final compartment leading into the giant cannon. Now once again you see we're left over with two barbarians. You can either use them to tank at the district hall if your hogs are running low, or to distract the giant cannon at the back if you want some more bonus gold if you have many troops still up. In either case, that is the Builder's Workshop all cleaned up, with the district hall being the final building to drop. Second to last, we have the Wizzard Valley. This district is usually known for its incapability to defend most sorts of attacks, but this one shot still has its pitfalls. So we're starting with the skeleton barrel at 6 o'clock, before then letting them beat through the wall to avoid some traps that are in front of this Tesla setup. At the 3 o'clock side, you see a lot of rams, minions, and especially hogs, which will be the main component of this hit, working through these defenses, while the minions stay behind and finish off this raid card, which would be otherwise very pesky for the hogs. Now the hogs do come back to this main island while we take down the second raid card with some more minions, and we reinforce the hogs now from the 5 o'clock side to work nicely through this core section of the base, while we bring in a skelly barrel over the river to take down the final raid card. Now we use another set of hogs to clean up this Inferno at 12 o'clock. If this Inferno should be too high level, this one pair of hogs will not be enough. In this case, you can send in a skelly barrel with a zap over the mountain to take it down. Because as you can see now, while the hogs work through these final few defenses with the giant distracting the giant cannons, giving us a lot of hogs going into these final two Inferno towers, we have 20 troop space and a zap left over. Now of course you can use them to bring more hogs or more cleanup, but if this Inferno up top should be too high level, consider bringing the skelly barrel and a zap instead, since you have the extra troop space to allow yourself to do that. And with that, avoiding a whole lot of traps, we're closing in on the final few buildings here to finish off the second to last district of this video. Last but not least, we have the Barbarian Camp. This basically abuses the air coverage that is often lacking in the Barbarian Camp. So something you may see in the top of the screen, we've already zapped down the spear thrower and the air defense in the middle of the base, while some skelly barrels at the P.E.K.K.A. open up the spawn area and then enter the rocket launcher side, while the skellies still work towards the district hall. Now, spoiler alert, one heal will be swagged in this attack, so if your P.E.K.K.A. should take too much damage towards this, working towards the 9 o'clock side, drop your heal there and keep the P.E.K.K.A. healthy, because it's very important that he works as far as possible over there. Meanwhile, we use some minions and a Barbarian to take down this 3 o'clock side, which is devoid of any air coverage, while we then move over to the 9 o'clock side, using the tanking from the P.E.K.K.A. and a Ram to distract the Giant Cannon and open up this final section of point defenses for the Skeletons to clear out in its entirety. Now we were basically watching the minions close in on this final middle section of the base, as this attack is basically split into two. You may say, well, you could use the synergy of the troops to work through this top side more easily, but then again, there's a lot of splash defenses, so if your minions accidentally take on the shot of the rocket artillery, it might end up splashing the troops behind it. So it's better to wait it out and now come in with your archers, come in with your P.E.K.K.A. and another Skelly Barrel. The P.E.K.K.A. once again to distract the splash defenses, while the archers and skeletons working towards the middle. And with that, you can see this base is done for. Now this is all of the one-shots, as Dragon Cliffs and Capital Peak cannot be one-shot currently. If you enjoyed watching these or found this helpful for practicing your own one-shots, let us know in the comments, leave us a like, and hope to see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.